going to be trying to defend off the bridge just outside of Flash. He's going to try to delay it as long as he can. Going to try to get some Reaver Micro going, get a Scarab off, and just micro everything around. Has some Zealots in there as well. Going to get another Scarab off. Those tanks are at least clumped up very heavily, so those Reaver Scarabs might be very effective as long as he doesn't get those picked off. Picking off even more tanks. Quite a few tanks getting picked off, but he loses his Dragoons alongside as well. Get another Scarab going to go off, picking out another tank off, but he loses. Oh, losing that Reaver. That's pretty bad. That's going to shorten the delay there. There's another Reaver on the way. It has speed on those shuttles. While Vultures are coming in with mines and speed, they're going to be able to get some decent surrounds. Tanks are sieging up. Going to force the Dragoons right back to the choke. But there are going to be Reavers in play, and that's going to be his only chance if he has a bunch of Dragoons. And if he manages to block off those Vultures from getting us around in, and getting some decent Reavers out there. There are going to be turrets being put down by Flash, so it's going to be very important for him to get that nice Reaver going. He's actually going to move out with that shuttle way across. Might actually... Don't think he's going to move out. No, he's not going to move around and try to do some economic damage. That would actually be a little bit foolish right now. But he's going to try to engage and possibly going for a pseudo pincer, having that Reaver one there. He just has to be careful, leave it on the ground. Actually, yeah, attacking the reinforcements. Vultures coming in there. One dud Scarab. Usually I find that Scarab's not very effective against Vultures. Just keeping that Reaver there because now can't really fly him back. Just do those turrets. They get picked off instantly. Just have to wait for possible Reaver coming down that ramp. But now Flash already, the game is so short into it, but already has a nice contain on BeSt. BeSt, the only thing he has right now is shuttles. He has to use those shuttles while the reinforcements are coming in, so at least he's going to get some Scarabs off. But that Reaver, ooh, yeah, did get damaged a little bit heavily on the shields, but BeSt is going to have himself a pretty hard time pushing out. He does have a base over Flash, so that's that. He does have some Reavers in play. If he micros this beautifully, he might be able to get something. Also, he's going to need some Observers to clear out those mines, so he does still have an platoon, but it's still going to be in a lot of trouble because Flash has a bunch of tanks, siege up, has a lot of Vultures, mines over the place, and turrets. So it's a very bad position for BeSt to be in at the moment.
Yeah, this is awful. This is a insane contain to break out of. How do you break out of this? This is going to be so difficult to form. I'm sure, yeah, those are supply depots I think is being put up. Even more walls. If you don't want to go to a supply depot, well, you got to go through mines. And that is just going to be ugly. That is going to be hard for him to deal with. I don't even know if he has that many observers around right now because he's been producing so many Reavers. It looks like the Vultures are going to come in here trying to do some economic damage. But Flash doesn't even actually need to do this. This is just trying to be like adding some gravy, throwing down some mines there, trying to be more of a nuisance. And I do like the play by BeSt using those Reavers to try and pick off the reinforcements and try and cut off exactly how much is in his base. But yeah, doing a nice little Zealot bomb there to take off the forward tank once again. But I don't know if this is going to be enough. I mean, that contain is so strong. How does BeSt ever break that? The forces that would be required are going to be astronomical, and there's no place for BeSt to really organize those forces to glob them up and get them into a nice line and get them nicely situated so we can do that. And we do have a little bit of a Reaver drop coming in here. It looks like it's going to be Reavers, and this could be good for him. I mean, he could get a couple nice Scarabs here and get some kills. It looks like 3 kills on one of the Reavers and maybe a couple more on the other, so maybe 4 or 5 total kills there. We got a tank going down as well, so some damage being done there, but I think one Reaver just got picked off. And yeah, I mean, you can see him massing up inside of his base, massing up all those Zealots, but you gotta wonder, even if he charges in there, there's so many Vultures, so many tanks. This almost looks like the end game of last game already, where there was just so many tanks that it didn't really matter what BeSt produced and sent out there wasn't going to be enough. And it looks like Flash is trying to set that up already by containing that wall and with those mines and with those Vultures. It's already at that point where you gotta wonder whether Flash could even possibly pray to get out, as we see a group of Zealots just being absolutely manhandled. And this Reaver harassment I don't think is really enough to pull him back into this. I think BeSt may already be done in this series, and we could see a Flash 3-0 here in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I think Flash actually picked up his mineral only alongside, but he's already picked off the Nexus at the natural, so any chance BeSt had while he was keeping his natural expansion going is gone now. He's still running around with that shuttle. Probably Reaver can't even take one single tank shot at the moment, so he can't drop it at the main. If he would manage to drop it at the main, he might do enough damage that possibly could get back in this to get his economy going enough. But he now has to engage, moving those Zealots down. There are buildings all over the place, tanks, so many obstacles to go through. If you want to come close, Zealots have to run through everything. Just the first wave are mines, then you got supply depots, then you got Vultures, then you got more tanks, then you got even more Vultures, turrets, and even more tanks than to kill. Dragoon's following up with these Zealots. At the very least, he's going to be able to do something, breaking some of the supply depots, but tanks on the south, west, and north side, firing from all positions, volleys all over the place. BeSt is going to force to be pushed back. He has a lot of those gateways going, but he can't really produce much aside from Zealots at the moment, and we're going to find a very swift exit from the series. He's at least done some economic damage, but losing, he cannot equalize the economic damage that has been done to him. He's lost that Nexus, and that's horrible. He's moving down even more Zealots down the ramp. It's gonna fire with Dragoons from the high ground, so at least that's a fairly good strategy. He's using those Zealots also to try to pick off tanks. Meanwhile, using that Reaver inside. Gonna lose that Reaver, meanwhile, in Flash's base. But all gonna lose all this force on the ground as well. Has one of his own Reavers doing some fairly decent damage. That Force the Flash has been whittled down, but I think he's gonna have reinforcement gun very close. Has a lot of vultures coming down, planting down mines, getting some surrounds on that. Oh, mine taking a freaking U-turn up the ramp on the freaking Dragoon. That was absolutely weird. Talk about waypointing on StarCraft. But yeah, at this point, I'm not really seeing a chance for BeSt to get back into it. It's kind of sad to be talking about this, since I was saying the entire time that BeSt was going to be Flash's largest obstacle, and it certainly doesn't look at it with how these guys are playing against each other.
That was like the mine from God. That like went around the ridge, like through mineral lines. It probably cloaked itself at some point and committed teleportation. I don't know what the heck that was. That was just absolutely ridiculous. And wow, I mean, if you've got teleporting uber waypointing mines against you on top of everything else, what chance does BeSt have? I mean, now we're getting to the point that it's like we can start talking about how Flash is like meant to win the game. I know that's being just a little bit ridiculous here, and as he loses his last shuttle, BeSt does, but Flash almost feels like Flash is like meant to win this with that kind of a spider mine craziness. Maybe he knew the map. Maybe he knew by placing a spider mine on that low ground that it would chase up on top of the ramp. Maybe he knew, but either way, it was really, really cool and really awesome, and I am highly entertained. And this game is over, by the way. If anyone's actually curious, the game is very, very, very much over, and BeSt is staying in it once again just to stay in it and make us commentate longer. But yeah, really at this point where it's time to start talking about final thoughts and what's going to happen with the rest of the I don't know, the other series of the MSL. Maybe we could talk about how awesome Flash is some more, because Flash is bestial as he comes in here with vultures picking up the world. And yeah, this series is actually almost making me turn into like a Flash fan. Like, I'm actually really, really impressed by him.
Yeah, a lot of players generally, well, a lot of players, I mean, people like Flash because he's such a good player, but don't like Flash because of his very technical play and little creativity. But really here he's shown very nice play on top of being solid. He's kind of mixed the blend, and really here, when you got huge group of vultures and a bunch of mines in front of your production buildings, what chance? Yeah, it's just nothing. Flash isn't really mining much. I think he has the mineral only. But the most part he stayed on 2 bases the entire time. And this is showing other players at the very least by this time would be picking up another gas, you know, making sure just in case. He doesn't need to make sure just in case. Just in case of what?
I think it's time for Flash to go fire bats.
Yeah, I think the BeSt GG just before that managed to happen. But yeah, Flash on the way. He's just on the road now. At the moment, he's just, you know, get me to the finals. Give me Jaedong, and I will show you who Jaedong is. I will show you who is the Lee in StarCraft today, because that's what I think he wants. He's already taken out Jaedong once in the OSL. He definitely should not feel satisfied with how that went. So he wants to go and show that he is the guy to beat everywhere. BeSt, yeah, looking dejected. Really, not really fun to see that, but he was dominated and not really much else to say. So the Twitcher, the Twitch-a-thon master, he's just going to move on to the semifinals and hopefully hope himself to secure a final spot in the finals where he hopefully, well, you know, fanboyism everywhere demands it, he'll face off against Jaedong and crush him. You know, I'm not picking favorites there. I'm just going to be there for the games, but that's what he's hoping for anyway. So Deja Vu, thanks again once for joining me. This was a weird series. We had some massive lag and sync problems, but hopefully that's all behind us. So GG guys, wrenching out. Thanks for joining me. Us. Later.
Thanks for having me alongside Ranchin once again. Always a pleasure. I always love dueling with you. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Bye.